Joining us today live on set, a special guest.
What's up, motor people? My name's Neil Meekins. This is the first ever Moto Chat Show, and today I'm really excited to welcome onto the show Mr. Stefan Mayer. Now, Stefan is a motorcycle adventurer, old school. This guy was traveling around the Sahara Desert before Ewan McGregor and Charlie Borman had probably even sat on a motorbike. He's got some great stories he's going to share with us. I hope you enjoy the show, guys. And don't forget, please like, share, and subscribe.
I'm already blown away by this place. Didn't expect that, and it's just so amazing.
A nice motorbike trip around the passes in the Alps.
Quite a bit loose gravel on the surface, so that's not rather good.
Where did you start? Where did you first start? What was your first experience in motorcycling? How long ago, and what was it?
Well, how long ago? I'm 56. It started when I was 14. So, you know, I was running around on a borrowed moped without a license plate on it back then. You know, you didn't get run over by the police. So, you know, you got a slap when we got caught, but that was it. So this is where it all started. But what really ignited the spark in myself was, I'm a lazy reader. And, you know, for me to get a book out is a big deal. And I found a book by a German guy he called Rüdiger Neberg. And check this out, guys, online. He's long gone, he passed away. And he was a baker. And he suddenly had that book to explore. And he went down the Blue Nile on a self-built boat. Has nothing to do with motorbikes,
Right.
you know, but it was the most inspiring read ever. And this, I will never forget. And that sparked me to start finding my own way there. I just could not sit still after I read the book, you know, and that was for me the defining moment. I never met the guy, we never spoke, to, you know, to my loss really, but that was the inspiration about it. And then it snowballed. I grew up in Bavaria, so, you know, I just had the ideal environment to do that. You know, if I needed something, my dad always basically made me to do repair stuff. There was no handouts to me as such. I had to, don't want to call it work because I didn't work or anything, but I always had to put effort in to get stuff done. And that basically taught me how to approach all these things, survival training and all these bits. I joined the army and thought it's a great idea. And then suddenly I found myself being 18. I had a motorbike and a passport. Well, there was no holding back, wasn't it?
Legado. Now, can I bring your attention to the trees around here? It's rather changed. It changed from pine trees to palm trees.
So, if you are there, you just drive for a pizza to Italy and come back. Or you cruise down the Mediterranean for 6 weeks with no money in the pocket and hope for the best. You know, that's the kind of stuff we did. And the more I mean, you see it on my face now, the more I even think about it, the more excited I go. You know, that's where it all started. And there's just no way I can stop. I paused, but I never stopped.
Some people say that you're always chasing the feeling that you first had when you first had that thrill on a motorbike. And I guess you're adding not just the adventure of the motorcycle, but the actual adventure of going somewhere completely different. It's like a win-win. It's a double buzz.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate drug. I mean, it's just nothing else, you know, and whereby a drug maybe wears off You know, I mean, it sounds horrible, but, you know, ADV riding, the way I do it for myself, it's like crack cocaine. You just cannot stop. It drives you insane. All I'm doing is planning my next moves.
Right.
To the dismay of my wife. But, you know, that's who I am.
Right.
And I will not change that for anything.
But to your adventures you do on your own?
Oh, yeah.
I'm
always
completely solo, yeah.
I am completely solo. Because solo riding comes with its own problems, and some people are comfortable with it and other people aren't. And that's what I'm saying is, you know, you have to find your own way. It doesn't matter what anyone else said. If you're comfortable in a group, fine. I'm always on my own because I make my own rules, I make my own decision, I deviate from where I'm going, and I don't want to carry the responsibility for someone else on the trip if I can't control the situation. So that is, you know, I tried it a few times, and you maybe get me to drive with you for 2 days, but then I'm off.
Yeah.
You know, so it just doesn't fit in my way of doing. Maybe it sounds selfish, but, you know, it's just the way I feel more comfortable.
Do you think you could ever go on somebody else's adventure, like follow somebody else?
No.
No.
Well, honest to God,
just
impossible.
Couldn't do it. Yeah.
No, I could say if you and me now plan to do a trip from A to B, that would take us 3 weeks. That's all planned out. Yeah, I can do that.
Right. Yeah.
Right, because I have part of the influence, but trust me, it would be difficult further along. You know, I mean, I did it. I've been there, and I fell out with people. People fell out with me. Yeah. Because it puts so much pressure on something. There shouldn't be that pressure. That I'm better off on my own. Other people, they are better off in company.
There's nothing more annoying than when you're stuck behind a mobile home. Past the mobile home disaster. Hopefully we have a few minutes of nice road to ride.
When you're doing your rides and your trips, do you plan everything, like where you're going to stay, what time the reason I ask you is I did that once, and I spent so long for each hotel or each campground, and everything had to be precise. And I found that when I was on the journey, I was more concerned about hitting the right times, the right places, and actually it was my stepson that said to me, just go and have a rough idea, and he was right.
I'm with you on this one. I do not plan it.
Okay.
I mean, I know where I'm going, and I know roughly where I want to be, you know, and it is important that you tell people basically that's the route you're taking roughly. So if something happened, you have a backup plan.
Safety, yeah.
Yeah, but I am not planning. I never plan anywhere to stay. I never plan anywhere when I will be there. I give it, you know, like for example the Norway trip, I planned basically the only fixed points in time I had for my Norway trip was the ferry to get from Britain to Europe and back. That was it. Yeah.
So your kind of take-home message really is, look for the things that you want to see, have an outline, get all those things into your ride, but don't plan to stop at every single place. Choose when you're there. Ish.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing. You know, we all normal people wake up in the morning, brush our teeth, get on with our day. Everything is planned to the point somehow.
Yeah.
why would you do that when you're going to adventure?
Yeah, Indiana Jones didn't, did he? Let's face it.
No, you know, but that is it. Go with the flow.
I mean, I know what you said when you was younger, you'd go down to Italy and things like that. But I mean, in my mind, it was Ewan McGregor and Charlie Borman, perhaps the guys that really kicked off adventuring. That's how I understand. That's what kind of sparked my interest off. You might have a different view on that. Where do you think you really kind of started?
My time started when I basically was 18. So. Right. 38 years ago. So it was way before Ewan McGregor and Charlie did anything. And I think the only way, we consumed this Charlie and Ewan McGregor adventure that way because there was actually the medium out there to do it, because nobody would be bothered to take video cameras or whatever, because it was just too bulky and stuff like that. You know, I when I first did my Sahara crossing around Mauritania, I was 18. I was 19, and I had a Yamaha XT500.
Wow.
You know, the old one-cylinder, best motorbike ever.
Really?
Ever, by a mile. Germany had restricted it to 27 horsepower. Soon we went out of Germany. The other bits got in, and we managed to get 33 horsepower out of it.
What was that like going across the Sahara Desert, 18 years old on that bike? I mean, what did you take with you? Well,
I had a tent, what basically we thrown away because it was rubbish. And we didn't have the big fuel tanks we needed, so we had big plastic cherry cans strapped to the back. Be honest, we didn't have much. I mean, we didn't have a photo camera because back then there was no digital stuff. So if you take a photo camera with you, it's anyway ruined. You know, we basically just had the visors and we had all the bits we needed. And it was two of us back then. Yeah. And we just went for it.
18-year-old guys in the 80s were going to Ibiza.
Yeah, that's what they did.
You're riding across the Sahara.
Yes, you know, and you know, we had some wild things going on there. I mean, people were just like, what the heck is going on? I mean, I do remember when you know, my bike, I had a problem with it, and we got stuck, and we went through Morocco, and we had to go through the Atlas Mountain. And everyone was like super helpful. So I ended up having that bike basically thrown on top of a lorry, was full of onions. And I was sitting on top of that highly overladen lorry with onions for 2 days. Oh. Smelling of onion. I have no idea. I mean, there was plenty of food around if you like onions, but... It was just amazing, you know. So, and my bike basically just tied it to the back, and you know, everything was so much easier.
And it made it through okay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm here.
Yeah.
Bike was fine. You know, everyone was just butchering around, wire here, bit of hammering around, you know, and I had no brakes. Well,
Yeah.
I had no rear brake for best part of the journey because that failed. But
Yeah.
the rest was fine.
I've talked to people before. I don't know if you ever remember Fools and Horses, and there was a character in that called Trigger, and he said it's the same broom, but I've had to change the head 3 times and I've had to change the handle 2 times.
That's the one.
And people have said about their bikes, I've taken it all around the world, but I've changed the wheels. I needed a new engine, the seat went, the steering, and by the time they're through, it's a completely different bike. But
well, see it that way. When I came back, I had to scrap it because there was no way I got it ever again through the MOT.
Brilliant. I was out in the middle of the nowhere, and it was a time when I was in my early 20s, and some friends and I decided to ride a motorbike across one of the Greek islands. I think it was Corfu. And I got halfway across and the bike fell apart. Well, it didn't fall apart, but one of the wheels, the tyres blew out. And we're in the middle of nowhere, and all these guys jump off a lorry and come towards us and say, "Yeah, we're going to fix your bike," in broken sort of broken English. And I thought, Jesus, we are in trouble here. These blokes are going to take us away and do horrible things to us. And actually, it turned out they gave us loads of food. They repaired the bike. They sent us on our way. They gave us some wine and some grapes and some cheese to take with us, and we couldn't believe it. I mean, have you had times like that where you thought, "Oh, this is bad," and it's turned out to be the complete and utter opposite?
It is the fact that it's all in your head.
Right.
People are not bad.
No.
Of course, they're bad people, right?
Yeah.
Let's not glorify it and say, "Oh, the world is beautiful, no trouble." No, there are plenty of bad people out there. However, and that's one of the reasons why when I'm traveling alone, because yes, you're more vulnerable, but the chances are that you're in trouble are much slimmer when you're on your own than when you're in a group, because you behave differently. You look around where we live, there's always there's more people in 100 yards, 500 yards where I live who will not hesitate taking advantage of me if I'm not careful. And I'm living in a nice part of the world here, but the people always take advantage of you. If you're out there, they give you anything. As you said, food, wine, they're happy to help. What specifies an adventure for me is something completely different what you would maybe think of what is an adventure. So here's the thing. I have the shabbiest motorbike of everyone.
What is it? What is it?
My bike.
Yeah.
It's a 2007 GS. I have no ABS.
No.
Basically, I have a light on the front and on the back, you know, and some indicators, and an engine rattles like hell, you know. But it is reliable, and Herman gets me wherever I want to go. Because, as I said, that bike gets me home, and I've been limping around with subframe cracked and side stand smashed up, just where that photo was taken. Give it another, that you see the bike is on the main stand, because my side stand was already smashed to bits, and it's just stuff what happens. And for some people, they go home and polish, and I think, another battle scar.
Did you ever have anywhere where you wish you'd never gone?
Yeah, everything I passed on the motorbike, I wish I would have gone there. ADV riders or adventure riders are actually extremely lonely people.
Okay.
Because it doesn't matter how much I tell you about it, you will never ever in your mind get in the point where thinking like, oh, he had this marvelous time. When you come home after 3 weeks or 3 months and you're just buzzing, and you tell your other half or your best friend, oh, how was it? Marvelous. And they couldn't give a damn.
No.
Because
they don't get it.
Because why should they? It doesn't matter. Whatever you say, it means nothing to people. That's the one?
I think that's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the James Bond Sky Lake view. Not a bad place, even without the skyfall thing. And now we are on our way further north towards Fort Williams. Then we will take a ferry, and then another 36 miles to our destination.
How many adventures do you go on a year?
Well, normally I do 2.
2?
But 2. I mean, I have plans. I want to go, I want to travel Malaysia. I want to go Vietnam. You know, I have already put things in place where I will definitely go. It's just a question of time.
Do you ride all the way? I mean, do you get the bike shipped? Do you, how do you, if you was doing Malaysia, obviously, do you ride as far as you can and then book it onto a ferry or something? Or do you get it shipped out immediately? What?
It is a question of time.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I don't like shipping, I ride, But if you basically spend your time riding just on expressways and motorways just to get from A to B, you just as well ship it.
Yeah.
So what I would do is, be honest, I mean, the other option is buy a bike.
What, down there?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the shocking truth is, whatever you think your stuff is worth, boy, you go to places where it's worth nothing.
Really?
And you can, in Russia, for example, if you can buy a decent little motorbike to run around for $3,000.
Yeah.
But can you imagine how much it would cost you to get your bike there?
Fortunes.
Exactly. So and then you have the canny stuff and everything. But on the other side, if you would go, say, for the 6 months around the world trip or whatever, it's a complete different scenario, So I mean, I had invitations to do tours with like tour operators and stuff like that. To be honest, I never done it because I'm not quite sure if I fit in there.
More of a lone wolf.
Well, it's just what you do, isn't it? Because I mean, I was reading, because you see, there's like amazing tour operators around, and they do lovely tours, and every night you stop somewhere in a nice hotel with 25 other mates, and then you have your beers, and next morning up you go again. And then you can stroke an elephant halfway through. I don't know, for some people, best thing in the world, no doubt about it. You know, and good on them. But it would just drive me insane.
What about America? Have you ever done America?
Yes, I've been. When I was in the army, I spent 9 months in America.
Okay.
And I was stationed in Fort Bliss, Texas.
Cool.
And so I traveled a lot.
Did you do some bike riding there?
Bike riding, cars, mobile homes.
Big Harley Davidsons?
Big Harley Davidson,
Route 66, any of that sort of stuff? Similar?
Yes. I mean, we called it the oil slick. It was basically the west coast from Texas up to what was it called? Las Vegas and all that stuff.
Yeah, Nevada.
So we paid Nevada and up there, and it was just absolutely marvelous.
Yeah. I've always fancied that.
Yeah, it's just full of crazy people. Crazy people with guns. I mean, what the heck do I want a gun for?
Yeah. So, changing the subject slightly. Since the days of you riding across the Sahara Desert and now, there's a massive influx with technology. I mean, technology has gone absolutely crazy. We've got, instead of maps on a tank, we've got GPS systems where you can plot out and flag everything you want to do. You can follow precise lines. You can upload your pictures for everybody to see exactly what you're doing. You can even do it in real time.
Yeah.
And my question to you is, I mean, I can see the good and bad in both sides. And I want you to, if you can, if you don't mind, tell me what you think the good things are about all this technology that's currently available, and the bad things, the way it can stop an adventure because you're constantly trying to record everything and you're uploading it. And I mean, you could probably go on forever about the good and bad in them, but do people worry about it too much? Is it too much of a thing?
I wish I would had back then on my Sahara trip the opportunity to record stuff, but I didn't. So I do like making films, and I do like technology. In fact, let's be fair, I love technology.
I'm the same.
But I take the bit I need and keep the rest for someone else. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's technology is great until it goes wrong. And you know, if you can't read a map and you can't use a compass, you know, you're in the wrong business being an adventure guy. Technology in bikes, how shall I say it? Don't start me.
I mean, BMW is an example. I mean, the technology that's going into the dash and actually the whole bike, I mean, is just, where's it going to end?
Well, it ends where we want it ended, right? And the truth be told is I absolutely enjoy riding them, the new ones. A friend of mine just bought a brand new 1250. The most, I mean, all I can do is compare it to Harman, and there is just no comparison. Not for it's for some people, but not for others. Yeah. And I'm one of the others. I'm definitely not condemning it, because keeping in mind, my bike was top of the range back then. The new technology is practical for 95% of all the people out there. I mean, some of this stuff is absolutely daft. Riding modes. Riding modes is one of these things where I think, like, well, don't learn how to ride a motorbike.
In the rain.
In the rain, exactly. You know, trust me, if you hit the brakes like a lunatic and you basically smack on your face, you soon find out that doesn't work. And you learn how to do it. You know, I think what it does is it disenfranchises people. People stop learning how to ride properly. Because with all that support stuff, you know, they don't know where the limits are. Sports bikes, you know, when you have these super fast, amazing machines, and then if I would go on there, a bit of a belly, 6'1", I'm just the wrong guy for that bike. You know, TT riders or whatever, they are little guys. You know.
There's not much traffic, and there are certainly no speed cameras. Welcome to Panoni. That's an absolutely lovely place. Try to get myself a cup of coffee up here now. Told you it's worthwhile coming down here. You don't really want to just blast around like crazy, but you want to take the landscape in, and the scenery. It is beautiful.
Have you ever had to go on an electric bike yet?
No. And, you know, truth be told, I'd been on a electric scooter once. Right. You know, so, and basically one of the kids had one, and I went on that, and that was okay. You know, it was okay. And, you know, be fair, if I would have an electric bike and I would use it to commute around town or everything, happy bunny. I think what they should do is they should give you a helmet with like big speakers in there, and when you play with the throttle, it goes brum brum.
Well, you know, when Harley came out with their, what was it called, a live wire or something, it was there was all a big buzz. I mean, how are you still going to get the the Harley sound. Going back to what we was talking about right at the start, because Charlie Borman and Ewan have just done. They just filmed The Long Way Up, I believe, coming up South America into America. And they've done it on electric bikes. I mean, everybody was saying, "What is it going to be? A Triumph, a GS? You know, what are they going to use?" And they come out with, I mean, there must have been a deal there somewhere to promote electric bikes. I mean,
exactly. I think they should just put it out as it is with all the problems, and then it will be. It is an adventure to do so.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I mean, they're the first guys to take electric bikes on an adventure across, you know, part of the world which has its modern difficulties. Whichever way you look at it, it's still an adventure. It's a new adventure of modern times. You know, I've heard stories that they've, you know, had to drag the bikes to people's houses in little shanty towns in, you know, Chile or something, and try and get an electric socket plugged in, even though they did take lorries with them full of chargers. But it's a different kind of adventure, I guess. Fair play to them. Did you ever go on a trip that you planned and, you know, you had it all set out, you got all your stuff together, you set off and it just went absolutely, completely and utterly wrong, and you ended up coming home because you just couldn't do it anymore? Okay.
No.
You're still pressed on?
Yes. I just wouldn't. I mean, as I said to you, I always aware of there will be a point where I just maybe have to walk away. But it never happened. No. Have you been close? Yeah, lots of times. You know, I mean, look, when you basically, you talk yourself round. I think you stop wimping out when there is no other solution than just to move on. You know, you wake up in the morning and you have a bit of a headache and, you know, and this and this and this. If you travel and you see people, how hard people work just to make ends meet, you have no right to complain. Like your accent to me, you sound, I know you're not, but it sounds Welsh. Has anyone ever said that? You know what? It's the funniest thing ever. Of course, they say I sound Welsh, and God knows why. But, you know, it's when you look on the GS forum, I actually called Welsh Herman. Oh, are you? So, because they've been winding me up, you know, on a meet-up. Oh, you're Welsh Herman. Well, there you are. What's your favourite part of the British Isles to ride? I tell you one thing, I'm a big fan of Scotland. Yeah, I've never done that. What's the loop up there called? They call it Scottish 500. Yeah, the 500. You know, forget that bit. There are some amazing rides up there, and there's some amazing people, and I just love the Scots, you know, and the landscape, you know, it's just like so nice. So stick away from the 500 and do some other routes. Absolutely, because anything you do where you follow somewhere else, you miss out. Someone's route, you miss out. You know, the 500 is, there are amazing places there, but you know, just don't, you know, just stay off the beaten track if you can. Because everyone does that. Everyone does that. Yeah, you know, mobile home everywhere. I mean, when I went up Norway 2 years ago, and it was fabulous. I mean, I'm a big fan of Norway. Norway, because the people are amazing, the landscape is amazing, and as long as I kept away from the main roads, everything was fine, and there is lots of space. But as soon as you hit the main roads, everyone is there in their caravans and mobile homes, and I mean big time. And you're like, oh my god. And then they all decide, for whatever reason, to go up the big mountains on their mobile homes. Oh my god, it was just hilarious. Have a look on my YouTube channel. There's a video, what was it? The best video I ever made.
What's next for Stephen Mayer? What's the next project or
For
adventure?
Stephen Mayer, my next project is Russia is on the plate again.
Okay.
I'm planning ahead, and as soon as I can go, I will go.
Yeah.
But obviously, I don't want to push my luck. So I want to basically shoot a lot of stuff where I used to grow up, where I actually think people should go see it because it is amazing riding.
Well, funny enough, I met a guy the other day who was a big BMW aficionado, and he's quite an elderly gentleman. And I asked him, "Where's if you could tell me anywhere to go for all the places you've been in the world?" And he said, "Germany." He said, "Go to Germany." He said, "That is the best, without a doubt."
It is a lovely place to ride, you
Yeah.
know. And yes, you have to basically get a bit used to the culture, like everything.
Yeah.
You know, Germans are very strict, but they're also very hearty people. So,
Yeah.
you know, they let you in. And, you know, there's, of course, let's rephrase that. We have our fair amount of, let's call it interesting people, you know, but the rest of them are absolutely fabulous. If you have a problem, they will help you. So,
Yeah.
it is nice to drive. For someone who enjoys touring,
Yeah.
it's the place to go. Let's go the complete opposite. Let's go up to Friesland, for example. That's like close to Denmark,
Yeah.
up there. Complete different character of people. Absolutely love it.
Right.
You know, I'm a mountain lad, right? But I love it up there. It's flat as a pancake. The landscape is gorgeous. And even as an ADV rider, you will get really good stuff up there where you can go off the beaten track. You know, the difference between Germans and Welsh people is we don't build walls. For a touring rider who just wants to explore, brilliant.
Most favourite place to visit on a motorcycle for you?
Norway.
Okay. Worst place to visit on a motorcycle for you?
Worst place, there's no such thing.
No such thing?
So cities.
Okay. Any cities?
Anything, any city,
Have you,
anywhere.
like Paris? Have you been through Paris?
Not interested.
Rome? London?
Not interested. London, not interested. Edinburgh, not interested.
So do you use, I know there's GPSs that, so when we talked about making a route, so you want to obviously stick away from motorways, stick away from major A roads. Do you use any particular electronic GPS system for plotting things, or use Google Maps?
No. I use, I check it out first on Google Maps or Bing. Bing is good. I know, don't say anything about it, but Bing has more details than Google.
Okay.
Right? So ADV guy, check out Bing.
Okay.
You know, for overall search, I use Google, and then for detail work, I use Bing.
Right.
And then, of course, I have at the moment I have a TomTom on my bike.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
The truth is, they're as good as any.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not saying one is better than the other. It's worked for someone, doesn't work for others.
Yeah.
But I plan it out. And talking about big cities, I plan them in.
Right.
But when I get close to it, I just look then in more detail how I get around it. Navigation for me, as I said, yes, I have my GPS. Yes, I plan it out. I break it up in small routes. I'm rubbish with the GPS, to be honest. I always miss it because I don't want to look at the GPS. You know, if the GPS says to me, turn left in 100 miles, I like it. If the GPS, you know, always changes you around, you can't ride, you can't enjoy it. You know?
Do you tend to like look at the directions or listen to the directions? So you listen more than look, or
I look.
You look.
I have nothing on. I don't listen. I have no music.
Yeah, I'm the same.
You know, I have no music, and I don't want to listen. And if I miss it, so I miss it.
I used to get really upset when I went the wrong way. And now one of our sayings is, because Lizzie always said to me, there's never a wrong way on a motorcycle, because you go a wrong way and you end up in a different adventure. And that's kind of like becoming our little catchphrase. There's no wrong way.
25% climb. What goes up has to come down. Nice piece of road.
Yeah, just that picture behind you
Yeah.
is that was basically a wrong way.
Where is that, Stefan?
That's Norway.
Right. Okay.
You know, that's Norway. I was just on the way up north, and that's actually a lot of a winter sports center.
Yeah.
Right. My Norwegian is pretty rubbish. So, and I was fed up following the road around, so I have to, and then as soon as I see a dirt track, I say, oh, that's for me.
Yeah.
And up I went, and suddenly I ended up there, you know, and it went from bad to worse,
Yeah.
but I absolutely loved it, you know, and it's actually not really good in the summer where there's no snow to go there, because everything is just stoned and really bad.
Is it?
And yeah, the same in Sweden. There's a stunt for you. Very, very little anecdote, right?
Yeah.
When I came back from Sweden, I thought to myself, I know what I'm doing, you know, I want to go to this place. So the road was closed.
Yeah.
And the Swedes have an attitude of, they're not telling you can't go down the road. You're on your own, right? So there's me stopped, and someone waving me down and said, yeah, I want to go to that place. And he said, well, I'm not sure. We're building roads for like 50 miles there. I'm not sure how far they are further down the road, but here is okay. And then the stones go bigger. But where I was, the stones was like pebbles, right? Nothing big.
Right.
Where I ended up was the stones were the size of my motorbike. Because that's how they build roads, right? Wow. So obviously I couldn't go any further. So I already spent.
They are Vikings, though, let's be honest.
Hey?
They are Vikings.
Oh, they're cool. So anyway, so I turned around, looking at my sat-nav, I found a forest road. So good idea. So me down the forest road, no mobile signal, no nothing. So the forest road, I went to the end of that. Didn't know there's an end of that, but turns out that forest road basically went into a footpath. But let's talk about a footpath who maybe gets used every 3 years. So me and Herman absolutely try to get through this. Then I got stuck because it was boggy and everything. So what I had to do is I got camped, and so let's just see with a fresh pair of eyes in the morning what I'm doing. Because I had to, first of all, I had to move Herman around, turn back. Then I realized I didn't have that much petrol anymore, so I wouldn't have quite made it either. So I had only one choice going through it. So what I did is I took all my luggage off,
right,
got the motorbike out, left it where it was, got my shit happens bag, and off I went, and I walked about 2 hours along the path just to see what's coming. And be fair, you know, on the other end, it ended up in a park, honest to God, in a beautiful wetland area, all done nicely. So then I had to go back, got all my luggage, carry it up to that place.
Yeah.
It took me pretty much of the day, and then basically got Herman out and drove the last bit without luggage.
Wow.
You know, that's anecdotes for you. But
Yeah.
lesson learned, you know, I didn't have a satellite phone with me, and if I would have broken something, that would have been it.
Yeah, he was on your own and no one around to help you, or wouldn't have heard you or seen you.
No, and I just would have been one of the other stupid people people warn you about. Do you want to sit in your pensioner home eventually with no teeth in your mouth and think like, oh, I wish I could have done a bit more?
Oh.
Or you basically come in crawling, everything aches, but you know why? Because you had an absolutely amazing run of your life. I'd rather take that option.
You said before about the anxiety that you can suffer on a bike. And I think a lot of people do in different ways, don't they? But one of the cures for it is getting on that bike and being at one with yourself and the bike and nature. And, you know, do you use that for calming yourself or bringing yourself back to earth? Do you use it for anything, or is it just
No. If
hobby?
I have a bad day, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, the golden rule is never ride a motorbike
Yeah.
when you're angry or not well. Well, the truth be told is that's when I really ride a motorbike. But I'm not letting aggression out. I'm, you know, very, very cautious.
Yeah.
But for me, is when I have a bad day, there's nothing more than riding a bike. My wife
I get that.
was totally anti-motorbike.
Right. Okay.
Right, so she only knew me after when I had my break and didn't do anything, and I never talked about it. And she said, "You never ride motorbike again." Whoa, whoa, whoa! Now she knows when I'm in the zone. She can't stop me, and it's totally selfish of me. You know, I mean, people will condemn me for that. I am selfish when it comes to motorbike riding because I need it. I get ill when I don't.
It's kind of like your meditation then. It's kind of like your
Yes. The motorbike itself is not the obsession.
It's the feeling.
The feeling of being out there riding.
Yeah.
You know.
Stefan, all this solo riding, adventuring, weeks away, I can't be away from my missus for a day. I'm lucky I have a wife that rides, so she would be with me anyway. But going away for 3-4 weeks to Russia, for instance, like you said, on your own, you know, and you've obviously done this quite a lot over the years. How do you, because for people out there who want to do this but find they're being held back because their other half doesn't understand, perhaps. I mean, I don't want you to give marriage guidance, but how does that work for you guys?
It doesn't work.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. No, it is a struggle. It's a struggle between what I want and my wife needs. But wives don't want you to be in danger, right? They want you there, home and thing. And it's not because I don't respect her thoughts and appreciate the worry she is in. In the end of the day, we all have different expectations from our life. I'm always prepared to walk away. In anything, nothing is worth having if it's not from the heart and if it's not what you're yearning for. You know, you have to be in there, otherwise it's just not right. And my wife knows there is just no stopping me, because she knows I would get ill if I have to stop it now because of her. And our relationship would be in tatters anyway.
You're not finished with your adventuring, put it that way. I mean, so just quickly, you've been to Russia before, or this is the first time to Russia?
That would be a first.
This is a first. So what's the plan with Russia? I know Russia's cold, but are you going there summer?
I would go, yes, I would go in the summer. It is what it is. You know, I mean, if you go further up north, it is cold, even in the summer. You know, there's just no ifs and buts. But
what about Mongolia and that?
Mongolia is just amazing. You know, I had friends who've been to Mongolia. You know, and that's one of the places I absolutely adore, and I would love to go there. Yeah, and that's definitely. I mean, my bucket list doesn't get any shorter; it gets longer.
Are you searching for something?
Oh, of course I do.
What?
No, don't know. If I stop searching, then it's over.
You're on a journey, and
I'm on a journey. I have my life. I'm breaking out, and I always did. Searching, absolutely. Because whenever I ride, I'm searching for something. What's around the corner? What is the next thing? Wow, I've never seen that before.
Is it a feeling as much as a place?
It won't be a place.
Yeah.
It won't be a place, because any place is as good as any, as long as you're happy.
Yeah. And then that ingenuity to try and find another way kicks in. That's the adventure.
Listen, there was never ever, I can truly say, I never ever regretted any decision I made on the road.
Awesome.
Ever.
That's cool.
There was some really dumb stuff going on, but I never regretted it, because it just made it for what it is. I think what you guys do is great. It's something different. Because I have a Harley Davidson as well. Do
you? What do you have?
Yeah. a 48, you know, it's like the 1200. You know, I got the thing 6 years now and I've got 3,000 miles on it.
I had a Dynaglide.
Cool.
It was a super glide, actually. It's been a pleasure, sir. An absolute pleasure. Take care.
You take care.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
And
Bye-bye.
my regards to the woman.
And same to yours.
Right, listen, take care.
Take
Bye-bye.
care, my friend. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. I certainly hope you took something away from that. I know I did personally. And if you've got any comments, please leave them in the boxes below. And it would be great if you liked, shared and subscribed, and even tick the little bell so you get notified of any more videos, because we've got lots more in the pipeline, guys. You have a good night, and remember, there's never a wrong way. Take care, guys. See you soon.